So guys, today I want to do it a little bit differently. My microphone is also kind of bad and it's super hot, and I'm just using on my phone to do kind of the voiceover in a bit of a like online meeting style. So you will see me like PewDiePie kind of style up there in the corner now here. Okay, so let's go for it. First things first, let's open Procreate and click on the plus for new canvas and create a 4K one, which is the big landscape. And with our fingers, we can squish and like move and zoom and pinch our canvas. So the first tool there, the brush. And when you click on it, you get the brush library, and it's a vast library with like tons of options. And I want to go into that a little bit later. So let me note that down, brush tool. And next to the brush tool, we have the smudge finger. It's called the smudge tool, but I like to call it the smudge finger because it can like smudge and move things around, but at the same time, it doesn't have color or anything. It's just kind of this effect as if it was wet. And then the next one next to this is the eraser. And it also uses the brush library, but then it erases. But it can erase in all kinds of ways, like as if it was acrylic paint or something. So, very important, down there is the undo and redo area where we can undo our things or we redo something that we actually liked but undid. So keep that in mind, undo, redo. And now back up to the top, next to the eraser is the layers menu. And when you click on it, you can add layers. And if you click on the layer, then you get options. You can slide it left and right, you get options. And if you click on the letter, you get blending modes, blending options. And then the last one up there on the right is our color picker. So click on that one, now it's black. And we can choose like colors and in different tints and tones, and it's really convenient. And we can also save them to our palette there. And if you just grab one and drag it onto the canvas, you just fill everything with a color. So back to black, and this is the colors menu item. So let's go for a little blue here because I want to show how the color picker works. And for the color picker, you have to go to the left there between the two sliders. And this one can kind of like pick the color, and it looks like a magnifying glass. And click on it, it will just appear somewhere, and then go there and move it around. And the center like kind of takes up the color. And then it also automatically pops up in the top right. So on top of this is the slider for brush size, down for small, and up for big, and then the lower slider is for opacity, like up is full opacity and down is less opacity until 0 opacity. So what's left now, we have the kind of more like tooly things, like whatever, how to call this. So the first one is the transformation tool. It's like an arrow. It's kind of like in Illustrator. And now we can sort of select the entire layer and do stuff to it. We can flip it, we can kind of warp it and scale it. Different color for that one. This is the transformation tool. And all of these things on the left, you click on them and you get like options. So there you go. Next to that one is the selection tool. Click on it and you get like automatic, freehand, uniform, etc. And then you can select something. I used freehand and just drew around. Now I'm doing it with the color picker as well. And then you go to the transform one and you can like kind of scale it, turn it, twist it, flip it, whatever you want to do. Another thing that I haven't shown yet is how to copy, paste, etc. That's actually like a finger thing, so like 4 fingers. So next to select is adjustments. And here we have kind of like very Photoshop-y things where we can play with hue, saturation, sharpen, we can blur, we can also liquify, which I will like show a bit later. this is kind of like a photo options. The adjustments. And then last but, well, almost last, the actions. And actions has stuff like kind of importing a picture, exporting video, exporting pictures, your preferences, sharing options, but also now text, for example. And then we can now type text in Procreate. Before that wasn't possible, and one had to use other weird programs for that. So I wrote down actions, and then again, you know, I used the transform tool, for example, to like move it around, scale it. Oops, now I moved everything, but it's no problem. And once I create text, it will become a new layer as well. So I can also just like play with it. So, and last but not least is the gallery button, and that is kind of like exit and back to the gallery. So let's erase all of this. Forget 2 fingers. You can move, you can scale your canvas. So blank start, let's get rid of everything and let's start to play a little bit. So let's start with the first brush library item, and this is sketching. So here I have very pencil-like brushes. This one is the HB pencil, and it's actually my go-to pencil for like the first initial sketch. And if we hold the pen at an angle, so we can kind of go like this, but we can also go like on the side. And then we can get a very realistic pencil look as well for shading. So let's go for something else. C6B is much darker, much smoother. And yeah, try them all. You better try them all. And the cool thing is you can download more brushes. So what I got now? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. So you can also draw something and hold your pen on the iPad a little bit longer. And then it kind of automatically transfers it into a cleaner shape, especially lines, rectangles, circles, but also like things like this. See, so you draw and you hold, and the nice thing is it also pressure sensitive. So the harder you press, for example, the thicker the line, but that depends on the brush. Some brushes are the other way around. See here, I'm doing a square, and you see there's some weird effect with this brush. If you hold it at a certain angle, it kind of like bleeds out a bit. Well, it's very interesting. So try different shapes and pressure on your pencil. So get rid of this one. And let's try another one. Which one I got now? Ooh, something stripy. Thylacine or something? So this one looks very rough also. Don't like it. Let's get rid of it. Let's try this one. See, so this is one of these brushes where more pressure makes a thin line and less pressure makes a thick line. It's very confusing. See that? But we can get really interesting, just like character into our things. So let's try something new. Ink bleed. I really like ink bleed. It always looks a little bit like you have too much ink in your fountain pen and then it bleeds slightly into very rough paper. And a bit random as well. So let's try something new. Let's go to drawing and try one of those. So you see some brushes also kind of like they move or they simplify your sketch. Some brushes also mix with each other, like they mix the color, you will see. And sometimes, yeah, they have these random patterns. You have to try all of them to really see. And the worst thing is you can click onto each brush click onto each brush. And then you get even more options that you can play with. Like you can make it wetter or something like this. So let's try the smudge finger now. One of my favorites. So click on it. It's next to the brush tool. And now it was on gouache or something. Let's put it on acrylic. So it's really big. Oops. But you can see. So we can smear it all. Like we go with like kind of our dishwashing sponge through like a wet painting. I really like it. And we can make, trying to make some kind of like purple clouds there. Purple rain clouds. Doesn't seem to look nice. Let's try a bit more interesting brush here. What is that? Streaks. Ah yeah, so we get like this line effect there, but it's very organic. It's very fluid. You have to try it. It's so much fun. The gel pen. Ooh, see, this is one of these, like, touch it lightly and you get it very thick. So, some much finger. Oh yeah, so I mentioned that earlier. So the smudge finger can use all available brushes. All of them can. The eraser as well. Like they can use the same dynamics, the same effects. And then they have this different character. More smooth or rough or coarse or kind of stretchy and elastic or burning and wet. So next, let's try something from calligraphy. All the different so all the different categories have different properties. Of brushes. Do you love my Hawaii cup? So they all have different attributes. Let's clear the scene a little bit. And then let's try something from painting. And I like the painting ones probably the most for color. This is acrylic. Acrylic is really like kind of smeary, but only like kind of in the same stroke. When you touch and then let go and touch again, it doesn't smear as nicely. But other ones, let's play around more. This is the Nico ruler, I use that a lot for children's wear prints because it gives a kind of nice chalky blackboard structure. What is this one? Oh yeah, so now we have one of these wet ones, and this is like the oil paint one. It's actually a little bit hard. It gives you this feeling like you have to pick up the color first in the first go, and then it will give you color. And at the same time, it picks up color from the background, which is so cool. It like mixes it in. Can you see? We get like almost automatic 3D paint stuff from it. I like it. But it's a bit tricky. See, like paint it doesn't look so cute. So let's highlight a little bit too. Like it's still the it's like rough oil brush. See, oil paint. So it's that water brush. So that's like completely different. So that looks like it's going to seep in. So like it's wet, you know. It's like kind of soaking into the paper. It's very kind of nice. It doesn't work, for example, with white. If you tried that with white, it doesn't work. Oops, smudged there. What is that? No, it's not smudge. It's another one. This is like the dry bristle brush or something. Or the old brush. So this one is kind of like as if it is missing a lot of bristles, and then it kind of sometimes doesn't work. So let's try something else, artistic. So we can get this like canvas effect there. More of these. It's very nice, you know, and it looks like it's kind of printed on like a wet canvas, or we kind of like smeared something over it. Amazing. So what else? A hard airbrush. So this is very like standard. So airbrushes don't do too much. They're very like clean actually, like kind of round. And here, see, hold and get it like straight. Another box. Always try that, like hold it, you know, it's fun. But let's get rid of this one, try something more. And now it's actually getting more and more absurd in these. So like we have abstract with all these crazy shapes. And this is so beautiful. See, it even puts purple in there, like from where? This is not so beautiful. But yeah, some brushes are just really like fancy and a bit useless, but others can be very, very fun. Driven snow, I like. It gives us this terrazzo effect. It's not supposed to look like terrazzo, I guess, but it does. And the clouds are actually pretty neat. People who know kind of like Photoshop from back in the days, the 90s, and this like, cloud tool that it had, it was just horrible. But this one, you can actually pull off like a cute little pink rain cloud there with a little bit of patience and work, and needs a bit more white now. And yeah, kind of getting there. Water is nice. It gives us this marble effect. And it also like reacts to the background. You see, it's very interesting. It like melts into the other colors. These are the fire brushes, which are actually much nicer on a black background. So let's do some black here first, so we can see the full effect. Well, let's do a bit of like weird, funny spray paints first. It looks also very nice. I remember the days when I was just like trying to find nice spray paint splashes and whatever online, and I photoshopped them into stuff, and here it's like a very good, easy brush. Let's try some of these other ones. It's just very nice. It looks so realistic, and that's the fun thing about it. The flicks, you know, you can get some very interesting patterns as well, like in Procreate, just with the brushes that you get. And these are amazing. I want to get into those a little bit later when I'm going more into the character, kind of like how to draw a face or something. And these are the ones for hair. They're very nice, and we can actually make very cute hair with that. That's why I was joking in the other video. I want to play with hairstyles because these brushes are so fun to use. And we can make fur with them as well. We can make this like weird skin. And why do I pick this? Because it's very nice for leather, actually. You can see there's this very like uniform, like Birkin bag, kind of like, or maybe like a car. It's supposed to be skin, but then who has rough skin like this? Well, the vintage brushes, kind of like this one, where you get this like magazine, newspaper effect. Some of these are not that cool, but others are, like this one, which rolls and picks up the other colors as well. And then luminance, these are like the light brushes now. I kind of like, so we can do like little lens flares there, or big ones. But for this one, I should make a darker background because we can't really see. So it really like lightens things up, and some of them then just have like a colorful edge to them. But we do want to make it black, and this one also looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Anyway, all of these brushes, they're like ready to be explored. There are so many of them, and it's really worth it. So this is like the neon light pen, which is kind of fun. It looks like this Instagram story text, and we can do like a bokeh effect. Super easy. It's just ingenious. Click, click, click. Like, oh yes, organic, supposed to be a bit more like kind of textures. This is supposed to be cotton, but I quite frankly think it looks like stone. Or the rainforest. I mean, it looks nothing like a rainforest, but it doesn't really matter what they are called. These are very nice. Like, see, this becomes kind of very interesting stone texture. Nah, this is the rainforest. It's just like palm trees or something. But it's kind of fun. So guys, yes, Procreate is a really fun program, and there's like tons of options that are open to be explored. And I can just like encourage everyone to just go for it and grab your iPad and grab your Apple Pencil and just play around. You can do it on the sofa, you can do it like wherever you want to do. And that's the magic of like the working with a tablet. And quite frankly, before the iPad, nothing like that was possible. So one last thing, liquify. Love liquify. Go to adjustments and then go to liquify. And there's tons of options. And this is the first one is push. So you always wonder how like people make their bodies slimmer or legs longer. And this is because of liquify. And it's very kind of a clean manipulation thing. And it comes from like originally like Photoshop, I guess. And go to reconstruct and go back. You know, we can always return back. So the first one is push, where we push things around. You can see push, push, push. If we make the size bigger, it's easier to see the effect. So push, push, push. It makes things like kind of turn into like rubber, something like that. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This is a weird kind of like format for filming for me too, but at the moment it's very hot and my microphone has trouble and the computer is overheating. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna film myself on the phone, and then I can just play the video on the computer. So the recording is kind of synced, and I hope I can pull that off now, but I probably will. Anyway, guys, please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I hope you love my content. I hope you like my content. I hope it can help you, and leave comments below.